What is the position of the law? We've lived with our brothers from Nigeria time immemorial, more than 100 years. How's that for Nikruma? Now I want to build my easy one, and to think that he even calls himself a doctor. Let us find out. Scuba and Okoye, our friend, doctor. Uniform na fasa how brand to be so I say we Igbo king no said and if I remember to so and I drew her now make come from market because I want him to hear what we are saying. We are a nation of laws and we are very courageous people. We are not people that can be walked over anyhow anytime. You don't come to our nation and begin to behave the way you want and expect that we will succumb to this nonsense. What is the position of the law? We've lived with our brothers from Nigeria time immemorial, more than 100 years. How's that for Nikruma? Now I want to build my easy one, and to think that he even calls himself a doctor. Let us find out. Scuba and Okoye, our friend, doctor. JTech for write to him and ask him which school did he attend that he calls himself a doctor.
Fire no.
We've been free, we've been living peacefully with our brothers from Nigeria. All of a sudden you are becoming impulsive. You are imposing yourself on the people. And the people naturally will rebel. What kind of nonsense is this? Now young go back in year 1970. 69 year twaba. And he had the Buzia a buy. Buzia buy and Kufuado Papa Chenio. A Kufuado Papa na a executive secretary, a president. And Buzia prime minister. No yen wo buy no say. Ghana no Nigeria for na Giafa. Sasa time Nkrumah yen no say ne one Africa ne de banje. Etiane ye bode ye bie ne sa na Nigeria for ne. Me no ka say Accra New Town. Wo amanyini kakra. Ne fro Lagos Town. Me boa. Mo tra nkranye sa na ne fro. If say na Lagos of Nigeria for nyina age wafa. Emre bia atwam wo gofi uduro kan hye ne ho awanya dia o ma no mu businesses wo ho mo ye anwuma pa no yi kwofo ne kakra bi ne aka nyina Nigeria fo ana ye ne ade na busia bai no se dia bi the economy na kwa kodi Nigeria for ne for which reason there must be some policies that seeks to protect the Ghanaian people. Precisely. And what you know is aliens compliance order. Yeah, near trusty history. Now, as the word says, aliens compliance order. Now, it wasn't an expulsion order. Say, it's a biomun shorting kwan, someone shorting. Who you over TSO, ye pamo Nigeria for somonko. Ya nika pamo Nigeria for. Buzia buying say, Mo ye near dear, mo babet Joe mine. Accra New Town, mo friend Lagos Town. Businesses in Yinamaji. Nemo, we need to regulate you people. And for that matter, Okoye no kofa aliens compliance order. Say the immigration laws of our nation. We want all aliens. Mo free baby aba. Mo be comply with the regulations of our nation. The immigration laws of our nation. So that was the motive of the aliens compliance. It is about now my mudia. And the amrane war my we are Nigerian new. We are Lebanese new. It wasn't even just Nigerians. Lebanese people had taken over, taken our market. The economy had gone into the hands of the Lebanese and the Nigerians. So Buzia sought to protect the interest of the Ghanaian people. Thereby introducing aliens compliance order by saying that if you will do business, there are certain businesses that has been allocated and protected for the Ghanaian citizens. For which reason, if you are a non-citizen, you cannot venture into those businesses. What was the motive? Protecting the Ghanaian. So, the whole motive of the aliens compliance order was to protect the Ghanaian citizens. Why you near the Buzia was okay, say me mamubre a certain duration of time. For which some obey na you must follow compliance. Compare open citizenship wa koko pebi. Say open gree you want wine wa stay no koko pebi. Sometimes Nigeria for no adwo man na fa. No mo dwen se busi edi ago. Ebra ye de ma wo mo se wo mo nya ne ade no mo antimi anye. No say this mo follow dia all of you vamus. Precisely. No pamo wo mo. It's a case aliens compliance order. It wasn't an expulsion order. It wasn't that was sorry and was money now. One more time was a monfanya bibi near the end. No more corner immigration for and documentum. After you did more so money and a buzia, a pamu, almost any monko, Nagana for Honto. Since then, yanena muaba ye mutala time. A Nigeria president ye betwemu. 1982. That time oil boom ya bama Nigeria no ye bibia ho ne ana Ghana for ni nyina kwa agegi. If say na Nigeria for na ni akohwe oil no so ye friend Dutch disease no. Omudi nti economy ni be bebre no. Na gomumpe. Teaching any artisanal ni ho awan nya no mo pe eto mo ye ni ade deck ana ko wie se Ghana for na teacher for Ghana for ni mason for Ghana for no artisans ni nyina edwane ko Nigeria na Ghana for teacher for no abene eti wo mo kodia na Nigeria for ni ntimi compete with them. Eti by 1982 no na Ghana for no jig Nigeria for ni nyuma na afa ya na the high life by no musua ya wan bebre ya na the ko no musua hip life is start free as on to start free ni no musua but we behave like brothers. Nigeria and Ghana o musua no se mo baji nyuma dia and Ghana must go late 1982 no mo pamo Ghana for nyina ha and nkonti magu yeso nearby. Since then we've all come to an agreement that we will live peacefully in this country. So, and we woke up one day. A certain individual called Igbo Deportation, Dr. Izzy Deportation. All of a sudden says that I have come to Ghana. I have been made a king of Igbos, and for that reason, I am building my kingdom. What nonsense kingdom is that? Kingdom where? First of all, we are going to look at even assassin also they build the kingdom. Let us look at the position of the law when it comes to the constitution. Does the constitution allow non-citizens to be able to acquire land? Claiming I have bought lands. You have not bought any land. Even the concept of buying land. There is no way a non-citizen of our nation can buy land. It will be leased to you. And then if I make a constitution in Article 266 near what nonsense is that? Then you are imposing yourself on the people. If you want to lead your people as settler community, there is nothing wrong with it. I was ya kaso bi your hinia ya what the constitution it chred wo your hine ya we be article 277 near who is a chief in this country nemo mi yanhwe article 2661 or say no interest in land dani izumi na so kra mama for nka bi wo shi bi ana dani izumi no nka bi Oya Nigeria ni, oya Lebanese ni. Constitution in say, may create any interest in land and ma freehold interest. Freehold in say wo na forever and ever. Osi bibia send ho. So constitution article 2661. Osi no interest in land in or right over any land in Ghana shall be created which vests in a person who is not a citizen of Ghana a freehold interest in the alien land Ghana. Exactly. So by building kingdom. Then we are say assassin. Me and farmer in perpetuity to any non-citizen of our nation. Which nonsense? It kingdom no go building or there. Now that if I go to near reading ready, if I go to near reading ready. Clause 2 say or say an agreement, deed or conveyance or whatever nature which seeks contrary to clause 1 of this article to confer on a person who is not a citizen of any Ghana any freehold interest or rights over any land is void. It is a freehold a conveyance be a deed of conveyance. The kind deed of conveyance akrata na to assassin Nasa sakrata no e ma okwan say oh ye dia ma afebo a constitution clause 2 say a void precisely ye twam sapepe. And even time I 1992 constitution by 1969 any non-citizen of Ghana be no freehold interest. There was several land titles there were Lodia title, there were usufruct interest, there were common law freehold, there were deba freehold. Nyina no yes so we non-citizen a wo kura bi. After the Nyan article 2663, they reading here. The kingdom no building what dear so. Now, where on the 22nd day of a year, August 1969, any person not being a citizen of Ghana had a freehold interest or right over any land in Ghana, that interest or right shall be deemed to be a leasehold interest for a period of 50 years at a peppercorn rent commencing 10 years. Peppercorn rent, not even a freehold lease.
More fire.
Commencing from the 22nd day of August 1969, and the freehold reversionary interest in any such land shall vest in the president on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana. I also have be reversionary interest. See the assassin be na se nipa ni ye mano eye saa de ye kan ya. Se nipa ni ho a it must reverse to the rightful owner. And you say obi a oye non-citizen bia or freehold interest in land. By the coming into force of the 1969 Constitution, Sansa City are converting into another interest. That is a year rent. Tienyu. They say Nipani Ua and Kone Makuraho. It will come back to the president. So the reversion in the land will come back to the president. We are lawyer for the Betias. Now, so the Michiram say, we are Nigerian new, we are Zimbabwe new, we are Lebanese new, and Brana say, see the assassin Mawa. We will give it to you for only 50 years. Even that minus a day. So you can hold it for 49 years. Plus 364 1/4 days. Minus a day. We are for assassin. So we'll be better as my assassin by building kingdom. Kingdom no building for 50 years. Are you normal?
More fire.
Now, young Konian Shadani for the next clause to so. No man for reading. Also, no interest or right over any land in Ghana shall be created, which vests in a person who is not a citizen of Ghana and leasehold for a term more than 50 years at any one time. It is a CBN where you Toma non-citizen for more than 50 years.
Exactly.
It was what building the condo was to assassin way. Even that it is a leasehold, you lease it to the person.
Precisely.
And so be lease be mawa. So be the assassin mawa. Now say you leasehold a year transaction. Your friend be sublease. When you are subleasing, me the assassin ma a year akushia. The mo akushia person the assassin be ma a year kofi. It's a sublease. You need an express approval from menu a year the original a year owner no. Holding the allodial title. And yes, idea. You cannot give it. It's also by building a kingdom. What 250 plots. That's what the Bible man you be what the command one. Yes, I go pram him for no. Who are the real owners of the land? The allodial title owners. And they also seek permission. So which kingdom is he building? Or building kingdom no way. Because when the assassin will be through any other sublease agreement, you are supposed to seek permission from a the go pram owners. So the kingdom will build the idea. What nonsense is that? And even per the arrangement of a year constitution. Or maybe sit down here. Or here permit from the assembly. After what say, I'm going to build a kingdom and we will name this under this over this. Even naming of roads, you need an express approval from a year the assembly. Then you come here and you want to impose yourself on people and what kind of nonsense is that? You want to create confusion.
Exactly.
When you impose yourself on the people, the people naturally will rebel. Now you are trying to create some tension which is not there. We have been living with our Nigerian brothers for years. Our Hausa brothers have been here for more than 100 years. Have they come in to say they are creating their Hausa kingdom? Even Nigerians, you have different tribes and your tribal tensions. By the virtue of the fact that you are trying to raise this thing as if Ghana is in support of Igbos against Yorubas, Igbos against other tribes, you will be creating a certain tension in Ghana we are not ready for. And it's a threat to our national security. What kind of nonsense is this? Then you come into our nation, and even when they have told you that what you are doing, it has the tendency of raising tribal tensions. And then there's a video that this guy came to answer, and if you look at the arrogance in which he was speaking, as if he owned the country, saying that what you are saying is a hate speech. Nonsense, my brother. What kind of nonsense is that? Nobody hates Igbos. Nobody hates Yorubas. Nobody hates houses. We are only saying that don't impose yourself on the people. Let's stop being arrogant. You come to people's land, you disrespect them. And when the people are complaining, you come in and some arrogance. There's a hate speech.
Tell us what is going on.
Good afternoon. By the special grace of God, I'm the chief of Igbo community in Ghana.
Okay, so Danny, hold on. Pause with me. So, of course, you're asked to. a question of whether Oye chief of Igbo community or not. There is a case called Rimoshi. The courts have settled that when it comes to say, and Kofobi year to Kotna, a Kotna baby, Esi nya kandini bia wodi omanim. Sebe ya ochena kwa obidi bonia, ye betimi atresi. Etuko du America, ye wa Asante for hino in New York, ye wa this, ye wa that. Sani enuan mo mufiri suru ho ba Asante memkwa. Ye omosi for hine, ye wa Alaba for hine, ye wa this, ye wa that. There is nothing wrong with it. Exactly. So if by any chance you are an Igbo man and there are Igbos in our country, for which reason they've elected you to be their leader, be their leader. And stop this arrogant way of imposing yourself on the people. And now nkwasi asemunti menu ya just smart work or chance we su obo wo eye Igbo hine ko jo no adwene ya adwuma ajebe nkwasi sem no
no
otu memu amu obi aba oso ye hine wo man ni na wo bo nso hine ni bi na wa kokutu nanim ko jo smart no to da adwene se de na ya na kamu so if you are a leader, even that you are not a chief, listen to me properly. Who qualifies to be a chief? Danny, let's go and educate this guy under Article 277 and let him know who is a chief in our land. What the Constitution requires. Now, when it comes to definition of a chief, per Article 277, in this chapter, unless the context otherwise requires, chief means a person who, hailing from the appropriate family and lineage, has been validly nominated, elected, selected, and installed, and skinned or installed as a chief or queen mother in accordance with the relevant customary law and usage. So you are not a chief. And Rimoshi case has established that.
Exactly.
That it's not a chief properly so called. When you are a leader of a settler community, you cannot call yourself a chief.
Precisely.
Then let's go to section 63 of the Chieftaincy Act. That is Act 759. What it says. If somebody is not a chief and the person calls himself a chief, it is an offense. Per section 63 of the Chieftaincy Act. A person who acts or performs the functions of a chief when that person is not qualified to act. Being a chief assumes a position that the person is not entitled to be by custom. You have committed a crime. So you cannot be calling yourself a chief in our nation. Talk less of saying that you are a king. What nonsense king is that? My brother, don't come to our nation and show us some disrespect. We are not timid and call cowards like that. Don't do that. We want to live peacefully with our brothers. I sometimes even feel like they both have the same spirit as that of Asantis, because they are very dominating characters. Whenever they get to any place, they are very dominating. So I like my Igbo people. You get a point. For which reason, at some point, even people used to call me Chino doing KDS 111. My friends used to call me that. So don't come and create tensions between us when there is none. Imposing yourself, I'm the king of Igbo, and nonsense. If you were a leader of the settlers community, shut up and be the leader. And stop this arrogance of I am the chief, king of Debe. Kingdom where? We have fought for lands already. Ningo Pram, it belongs to families.
Precisely.
So where are you going to build your kingdom? And who is going to allow you that? Are you waging war? The only way you can do that is by war of conquest. Have you fought in any war? Who is going to allow you to build a kingdom? Where did you fight? Where did you fight to get kingdom? My friend, stop this nonsense. You are a brother, but stop this nonsense. Don't come to our land and begin to show on our face some arrogance as though we are some coward and timid people, for which reason you can walk in and do anything you like. You need to stop calling yourself a king. You are not a king. You are not even a chief.
So
tell them.
Don't do this. We want to live with our Nigerian brothers in peace. We love them. They love us equally. All of a sudden, you are trying to show some tensions and all that. Now to the interior minister, if by any means possible, this guy is going to raise tensions between us and Nigerians, and the people are not happy. The Ghanaian people are not happy. So if this guy is going to raise, please, I don't know whether he is even a citizen of our nation. I learned he's been here since 1995. If you have been here since 1995, the assumption is that you've been able to acquire some citizenship in terms of being a Ghanaian. Even that, the Citizenship Act, 2000, it shows who qualifies to be a Ghanaian. Whether you can speak properly a native language. An Igbo language is not part of our language. So we are telling you on authority, Interior Minister, if it's possible, deport him. He shouldn't come and raise any tension between us and Nigerians. We love our Nigerian brothers. Your arrogance and your stupidity cannot raise any tension between us. If you are the leader of Igbos, shut the fuck up and be leader of Igbos. Don't be calling Ghanaians and say, I have honored you, I have titled you, give to Abdoyana Musu Funu. Carrying yourself as if you own the land. You don't own any land. You don't own any land. Even on one Kasane brothers from a year, Kumasi. And then Bofidio and the brothers from Kumasi.
Igbo controversy, Igbo saga that's going on in Accra. Ghanaian youth protesting in Accra. I don't know when it happened, whether it was new or whether it was just an older video. But our stand here in Kumasi, Ashanti region, is that we owe our allegiance to the Otufo Osetutu II, the Ashanti Hine. Igbos don't have king in Ashanti region here, and we don't recognize anybody as the king of Igbos in Ashanti region. In any part of the world, there must be Igbo community as a kingship of Igbo. In Ghana here, we are not part of it because we have our king in Ashanti region. That is Otufo Osetutu II. And we are making everything possibly best not to allow this protest or this any of these things come to Ashanti region here. So it's my advice to Ghanaian youth: you have to think before you act. Igbo controversy, Igbo saga that's going on in Accra. Ghanaian youth protesting in Accra. I don't know when it happened, whether it was new or whether it was just an older video. But our stand here in Kumasi, Ashanti region, is that we owe our allegiance to the Otufo Osetutu II, the Ashanti Hine. Igbos don't have king in Ashanti region here, and we don't recognize anybody as the king of Igbos in Ashanti region. In any part of the world, there must be Igbo community as a kingship of Igbo in Ghana here. We are not part of it because we have a...
Danny, it's okay. Now let's come in and let me speak directly to you, my brother. What is his name? I learned Dr. Izzy BBB. You are not even, I don't know where you got your doctor title from. Let me tell you, we are a nation of laws. You came into our country. I believe so strongly that every person on the African continent is welcome to our nation for one reason. I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in the unification of our land as a one people. But until so, when you come to our land, which our forebears fought for, you don't come in and show us disrespect. And when you have shown us disrespect, and the people are calling on you to do the right thing, you don't begin to pull in the hate speech.
Precisely.
That type of hate speech. Then it's a video now. Bring it back and let me speak to him. Say that is xenophobic. So you are trying. Let me speak to him.
What is going on?
Good afternoon. By the special grace of God, I'm the chief of Igbo community in Ghana. Is in Igbo.
You are not a chief of Igbo. You are the leader of Igbo communities. You are not a chief. Stop calling yourself that. You are not, and you can never be. The Rimosi case is very assertive on that. You are not a chief because there is no bloodline in Ghana here that you come from as a chief, as a royal. There is no ethnicity in our nation called Igbo. Now, when you happen like that, even when you are dead and gone, you'll be creating chaos between the Igbo communities on our land because you will be willing it to your kid. Whereas when it comes to leadership of this nation, it is by election. So don't be calling yourself a chief of this, chief of that. You are a leader of the Igbo community. If they've elected you, shut up and be like that and stop this nonsense.
I had the same story. A lot of people have been calling me, sending me links from Ghana. He's called Amma Observer, and a certain guy also called Nitete speaking Ga, and I'm speaking English. And I've been watching those links people have been sending to me. I ignored them. The reason why I ignored them
see the exhibition of arrogance as if he owns the people. My brother, you don't own anybody in this country. I'm telling you, we love our Igbo brothers, but don't begin to create these kind of divisions and arrogance. It will erupt a bad energy in the Ghanaian people. When it does, there will be tension. And I'm saying to the Interior Minister, if the actions of this guy is going to cause chaos between us and our Igbo brothers, deport him. Let him go to his country. If you have given him citizenship by registry, we can revoke that citizenship and take him to his land.
Precisely.
Don't come and create any nonsense between us and our brothers from Nigeria. What is that?
Saying it's never true. How come a blogger will sit down to say that Igbo king in Ghana bribed Ghana Traditional Council for them to indulge?
So let's put it on record. Pause there. Let's put it on record. The Ghana Traditional Council has released a statement. Almost you should stop calling himself like Igbo king. And I think it is in order. Thank you, the Ghana Traditional Council. Ningo Pram for also issue statement. Minister of Interior, deport this guy. Deport him. Because he will create chaos between us and our Igbo brothers. Deport him.
More fire.